students. In the today's session, we'll talk about pharmacology of centrally acting muscle relaxants or spasmolytics. Now, these are the drugs that reduce spasm of skeletal muscles and they produce relaxation of the skeletal muscles. So, a muscle relaxant is a drug that affects function of skeletal muscle and decreases the muscle tone. Now, when we talk about muscle tone, high muscle tone or hypertonia causes spasticity or rigidity of skeletal muscles, and this spasm or rigidity of skeletal muscles produces the pain. Now, spasmolytics or centrally acting muscle relaxants, they relax the skeletal muscles, they reduce the muscle tone, and therefore they also relieve the pain. Now, these muscle relaxants, they are of two types. First type of muscle relaxants are the neuromuscular blockers. These work in periphery. They block the nicotinic NM receptors in the neuromuscular junction, and by blocking these NM receptors, they inhibit the contraction of skeletal muscles. And these neuromuscular blockers, they are often used during surgical procedures. Second category of muscle relaxants are the centrally acting muscle relaxants or the spasmolytics, which we are going to study in detail. Now, these drugs, they work centrally at the level of brain and spinal cord, and these are used to treat spasm and spasm-induced pain. So, these are useful in the treatment of acute muscle spasm due to exertion. They treat the spastic neurological diseases like spinal injuries, multiple sclerosis, cerebral palsy, and they also are responsible for the management of spasm and the pain associated with diseases like torticollis, lumbago, backache, neuralgia. In order to understand pharmacology of centrally acting muscle relaxants, it is very important for us to understand the functioning of corticospinal tract. Now, this is the diagram that shows the corticospinal tract. Corticospinal tract is formed of two types of neuron, the upper motor neuron and the lower motor neuron. Now, these upper motor neuron, they are located in the primary motor cortex in the brain, while the lower motor neuron, they are located in the spinal cord. So, a tract that carries movement related information, that is the movement of skeletal muscle related information from primary motor cortex to the spinal cord. And this corticospinal tract, it is constituted of upper motor neuron. Upper motor neuron, as we have already seen, is located in the brain. It is located in the primary motor cortex, and this upper motor neuron, it synapses with the lower motor neuron in the spinal cord. And the lower motor neuron, it is located in the ventral horn of the spinal cord, and it innervates the skeletal muscle. Now, increase in the synaptic excitation of this lower motor neuron, which innervates the skeletal muscle, causes the spasm of the skeletal muscles, and inhibition of the synaptic excitation in this lower motor neuron relaxes the skeletal muscles. So, all the centrally acting skeletal muscle relaxants, they reduce the synaptic excitation of this lower motor neuron, and by reducing or inhibiting the synaptic excitation of this lower motor neuron, these centrally acting muscle relaxants, they produce relaxation of the skeletal muscles. Now we are going to discuss mechanism of action of centrally acting muscle relaxants. Now, this is a lower motor neuron. This lower motor neuron, it receives information from the upper motor neuron, and it also receives information from the inhibitory interneuron. Now, one thing to be noted over here is this, that when the upper motor neuron is stimulated, there is release of glutamate and norepinephrine. Glutamate is an excitatory neurotransmitter, and release of glutamate and norepinephrine stimulates the lower motor neuron. Whereas when this inhibitory interneuron is depolarized, it releases GABA. GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. It is a gamma aminobutyric acid, and the release of GABA At this synaptic cleft, it inhibits the lower motor neuron, and the generation of neuronal signal in the lower motor neuron that causes the contraction of skeletal muscle is dependent upon the balance between synaptic excitation and synaptic inhibition. If there is more of synaptic excitation, there is more of the neuronal signal to the skeletal muscle, which causes the muscle spasm. Whereas if there is fall in the synaptic excitation, of the lower motor neuron, reduced neuronal signal will be sent to the skeletal muscles, and that will cause a relaxation of the skeletal muscle. Now we will discuss the mechanism of action of benzodiazepine. Benzodiazepine is a GABA A receptor agonist. Benzodiazepine binds to the benzodiazepine receptor, which is located on the GABA A receptor complex. By binding to this benzodiazepine receptor, benzodiazepine causes increase in the frequency of opening of the chloride channels, and because of the increased frequency of the opening of chloride channels, there is an increased influx of chloride ion. Increased influx of chloride ion results in generation of negative membrane potential. It causes hyperpolarization, it causes generation of inhibitory postsynaptic potential, and this causes the inhibition of this lower motor neuron, and which results in the relaxation of the skeletal muscles. The second important drug is the baclofen. Baclofen is a GABA B receptor agonist. So baclofen, it is a GABA B receptor agonist. It binds to GABA B receptor, which is located on the lower motor neuron, and by binding to GABA B receptors, it causes hyperpolarization. It causes generation of inhibitory postsynaptic potential. It inhibits the lower motor neuron, and that causes the relaxation of skeletal muscles. Now this baclofen also binds to the GABA B receptors, which are present on the presynaptic membrane of upper motor neuron. By binding to this GABA B receptor, baclofen causes reduced influx of calcium ions in the upper motor neuron, and reduced influx of calcium ions causes reduced release of glutamate and reduced release of norepinephrine, which causes reduced stimulation of lower motor neuron, and which causes the relaxation of skeletal muscles. Apart from these two mechanisms, baclofen also causes reduction in the release of substance P in the spinal cord, and which is associated with the pain relief. Another important category of drugs are the alpha-2 agonists, for example, clonidine and tizanidine. Now these drugs, what they do is this, that they are alpha-2 agonists. They bind to alpha-2 receptors, and they cause inhibited or reduced release of norepinephrine. Reduced release of norepinephrine is responsible for the reduced stimulation of lower motor neuron, or inhibition of lower motor neuron, and inhibition of this neuron is responsible for the relaxation of skeletal muscles. Now this is a classification of centrally acting muscle relaxants. There are 4 classes. First class is mefenacin congeners, for example mefenacin. Then we have carisoprodol, then chlorzoxazone, methocarbamol. Second category of drug are the benzodiazepines, for example diazepam. This we have already discussed the mechanism of action. These drugs, they bind to GABA A receptors, and they cause hyperpolarization or inhibition of lower motor neuron, which is responsible for relaxation of skeletal muscles. Third category of drugs are the GABA mimetic, for example baclofen, which is a GABA B agonist. By binding to GABA B receptor, it causes inhibition of lower motor neuron, which is responsible for the relaxation of the skeletal muscles. Another category of drug, as we have already discussed, is the central alpha-2 agonist, that is tizanidine, and these drugs, they bind to the presynaptic membrane of upper motor neuron, and they cause reduced release of norepinephrine, which causes reduced excitation of lower motor neuron, and which in turn results in the relaxation of the skeletal muscles. So first we will talk about the mefenacin congeners. They block invert sodium and calcium current in the lower motor neuron. That means these drugs, they cause reduced influx of sodium and calcium ions in the lower motor neuron. Now, reduced influx of sodium and calcium causes reduced neuronal excitability, decreased action potential to the skeletal muscles, which results in reduced spasticity or relaxation of skeletal muscles. Side effects are drowsiness, weakness, nausea and vomiting, and fall in the appetite. Now, one thing to note is this, that clinical efficacy of none of the mifenesin congeners is well established. Now, coming to the second category of drug, that is the benzodiazepines. We have already discussed mechanism of action, for example, diazepam. Benzodiazepines, they bind to benzodiazepine receptors which are located at GABA A benzodiazepine receptor chloride channel complex in the central nervous system, that is on the lower motor neuron, and by binding to these receptors, benzodiazepines, they increase the frequency of fluoride channel opening, which causes increased influx of fluoride ions in the lower motor neuron, hyperpolarization in the lower motor neuron, generation of inhibitory postsynaptic potential in the lower motor neuron, which causes reduced synaptic excitation of lower motor neuron, and which is responsible for the relaxation of skeletal muscle. Major side effect is the sedation, and specific indications are the spasm associated with the spinal injuries and tetanus. Another important category, GABA mimetic, baclofen. We have seen the mechanism of action in detail. Selective GABA B receptor agonist. It causes increase in the potassium conductance. It causes hyperpolarization in the lower motor neuron that results in inhibition of lower motor neuron. It inhibits the neuron presynaptically. It inhibits the influx of calcium in the upper motor neuron that causes reduced release of excitatory neurotransmitter, that is a glutamate and norepinephrine from the upper motor neuron, which is responsible for the reduced excitation of lower motor neuron, and it also inhibits release of substance P in the spinal cord, which is responsible for the reduced pain. So, by all these mechanisms, baclofen causes relaxation of the skeletal muscles. Side effects are the muscle weakness, sedation. However, sedation is less compared to that of diazepam. Now, baclofen is preferred to reduce spasticity in neurological disorders like multiple sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and spinal injuries. Another very important category is the central alpha 2 agonist. The drug is tizanidine, central alpha 2 adrenergic agonist. It binds to the central alpha 2 receptors and inhibit release of norepinephrine from the upper motor neuron. This results in decreased synaptic excitation of lower motor neuron, and that reduces the muscle tone, that reduces the frequency of muscle spasm, that causes the muscle relaxation. And this drug, it is efficacious in reducing the spasm and the associated pain in multiple sclerosis, spinal injury, and stroke. Side effects of tizanidine are dry mouth, drowsiness, and insomnia. So, this is all about the mechanism of action and pharmacological actions of centrally acting muscle relaxants or the spasmolytics. Thanks for watching the video.